We had the idea to do an exploration trip here in Northern Saskatchewan and into the Northwest Territories. In the fall, after the entire lodge was basically shut down, there's a phenomenon that happens every year for a week in September where lake trout come from the depths of, anywhere from 60 to 200 feet deep, and they come up on the reefs staging to spawn. They change their colors from silver, fire red, orange, spots. They're aggressive, they're angry.
Got him! Oh, it's a giant!
In a week's worth of fishing on fly, I released 6 trophy fish.
That is a fish of a lifetime. An absolute fish of a lifetime.
We're at Scott Lake Lodge in Northern Saskatchewan, and the beaver is loaded for adventure. It's unlike any place I've fished before. The people are fantastic, and the fishing is on fire.
Ooh, that's a nice size fish. What?
Absolutely fantastic. It's late season here in Northern Saskatchewan, and that means 2 things: unpredictable weather and incredible fishing. Despite having already begun their shutdown process, Tom Klein, owner of Scott Lake Lodge, invited me on an exploratory adventure to indulge in some unbelievable fall fishing with him and his guides. Situated on the border of Northern Saskatchewan and the Northwest Territories, Scott Lake Lodge boasts a multi-species fishery featuring walleye, Arctic grayling, whitefish, northern pike, and best of all, the opportunity to catch monstrous lake trout on the fly in the fall. After arriving at the small town of Stony Rapids, I was met by Mike the plane guy, who took us to the float plane base. There's nothing quite like flying in the Great Northern Taxi. With only a few days fishing here at Scott Lake Lodge, we wasted no time in heading out to our first fishing location. One of the unique opportunities available to guests is the ability to explore different lakes with the use of the float planes. This is Mike DEMYAN. He's one of the guides here at Scott Lake Lodge. Mike, what a fantastic flight. It's September, it's cold. What's the game plan?
The game plan today is we're going to try and catch some trout. The trout should be, at this time of year, should be up on the reef spawning. First come up with the males. We've had some good success recently with some small males coming up. Very colorful. They're in their full spawn colors. After that, we're going to, hopefully then the larger females will come up and we're going to try and target some of those bigger females.
So we're in pre-spawn here, and by all accounts, it should be a fantastic. This is the week that that this should go down. Isn't it?
This is the exact time of year, and this is a really good time of year for fly fishermen to come up because you can see them, you can actively see them fishing, you can actually actively see them striking, and it's a lot of fun watching trout
eat.
Strike a fly.
I love it. Let's go.
Okay, let's do it.
Man, it's shallow here, hey?
Yeah, we're in about 2.5 feet of water.
So what are these fish eating, and how do you want me to present this fly?
You're going to be eating some bait fish crashing up on the shore here. So it's going to be some sort of fly, clouser type, something that has a minnow pattern to it. I'm going to strip fairly quickly because we want to get down a little ways, so we're using an intermediate tip. Strip fairly quickly so that we can come across the top of that, and you don't have to worry too much about speed with trout. If the direct draw doesn't work so much, we'll do a couple little pauses in between. We'll start working that. So we'll start with just a regular fast trip and see how it goes.
Fish.
There's one.
Second cast of the day.
Nice. The second cast because you missed one on the first cast.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, it's a decent trout too. Now, one of the things that's really cool about this fishery is that the nastier and the snottier and the windier that it is and the colder that it is, the better the fishing is. They're up really shallow. This is 2 feet of water, and these fish are really, really wanting to be protected as well. So, this big chop, white caps, wind, and cold is perfect for camouflage from predatory birds, and just makes them feel comfortable, breaks up the light, and
that's a
we
really
got
nice
one
trout.
on.
Really nice trout.
That's a nice fish, man.
Yeah.
See the one in behind it? The one in trying to attack it.
Yeah. So they'll come in in little trains. Sometimes you'll do 2, 3, 4 come in, especially males following big females. Okay, so typically I just flip these off. So you just grab a leader, and the nice part about the fly is they just fall right out.
When you're fishing lake trout out here, it's really important to complete your strip into the boat right to the boat. These fish are curious fish. They will chase, and it's not over when your line comes in. You can often get them to eat right boat side if they're curious with a figure 8, just like a muskie or an aggressive pike. Fish it right back to the boat because sometimes 1, 2, 5 will be chasing it. Fish.
Nice
Oh,
fish.
good one.
Good hook set.
Talk a little bit to me, Mike, about what kind of hook set you do need to see here.
Okay, well, you want to do a quick strips, and then you want to take that tension out of your line. So as soon as you strip, you need to buckle the rod over just like you did there. and then you need to keep that tension on them. They will sometimes run towards you, so you have to be ready to strip quickly. Just keep a good tension on it. We use barbless hooks here only, so if you just drop a little bit of tension, quite often these trout will just spit that hook right out.
So these are not huge Lakers by any account. They're great size and they're totally fun. But my drag is cranked all the way down and they're still pulling drag.
Yes.
They are strong.
They're going to be strong, yeah. And they're the strongest fish we've got up here. And they'll fight a lot harder. A 3 or 4 pound pike, a 3 or 4 pound trout are completely different fish.
So good. This is so fun. That's a decent fish, man. That's a long fish.
Yeah, that's a real nice fish. Yeah, you sure can, as long as she doesn't spit me out.
Got him?
I got the leader fish. I don't know yet. We'll see.
Okay, so you're gonna get times just like that where a fish strikes your fly and it doesn't pick it up. What do? You automatically let that fly sit and drop it back. Let it flutter down and then repeat your cadence of your strip because they will hit it again. Even if you stuck these fish, they will come back time after time. So let it flutter back down and then speed it up again and they're gonna hit it.
There he is right by the boat. Nice hook.
That's a big fish. Got it in some deeper water, staying down. This could be one of those big females that we've been looking for.
Look at the bend in that rod. That's a nice
down
fish.
and dirty, man. What an absolutely unbelievable first day of fishing here at Scott Lake Lodge. The temperature's supposed to drop tonight and for the next couple days. I can't believe that it might actually even get better. I don't know if it can get better.
It can only go downhill from here. We've already topped out.
It's unlike any place I've fished before, and the fishing is on fire.
Oh, that's a big fish.
Got him. Oh, it's a giant.
Holy smokes, that's a big pike.
Nice fish. Big Laker.
That is a gorgeous fish.
They're aggressive, they're angry.
That is a fish of a lifetime. Let's talk about the equipment that we're using here at Scott Lake Lodge for lake trout and northern pike. Let's start with the 8-weight rod. It's an 8-weight 9-foot rod with a weight forward floating line. Now what I would recommend is you also bring some sink tips along, probably in the type 3 to type 6. Leader is 20-pound tapered salmon steelhead leader. These fish, for the lake trout anyway, without any teeth, you can get by with a 20-pound leader. They're not leader shy, but it is fluorocarbon. Moving up one to the 9-weight rod, which is the pike rod, I'm using a 9-foot 9-weight rod with a 400 grain full sinking line. These pike are down in the cabbage, on the edges of the cabbage. You need to get down quickly and get them to eat. The leader material is a figure 8 ESOX wire setup so that you don't bite through. It has a snap swivel on the end to easily change flies with a bit of a shock leader, a 30-pound shock leader to absorb any of those big strikes. Now for big lake trout in shallow water, we have a 10 weight 9-foot rod. It is spooled up with a intermediate sinking line. It sinks at about 1.5 to 3 inches per second. Gives it enough time to sink down, but it doesn't cause those flies to rise up too much on your retrieve. Remember, lake trout will chase, and as soon as you stop, it's over. So that's the equipment that we've got going on for lake trout and northern pike here at Scott Lake Lodge. Another day, different program today, hey?
Different program, yeah.
We got the beaver. We're going to be puddle jumping, really.
Right, yeah, we're going to pop to a couple of different lakes. We're going to go hunting.
Nice.
Instead of fishing today.
What are we hunting for?
We're going to hunt for big fish.
Big fish?
Yeah, there's a couple of reefs that I think will produce something big.
Trout and northerns?
Trout and northerns, yeah. Yeah, that's where we're going to hop around a little bit. Go to sort of a specialty lake for each.
So that's one of the great things about Scott Lake Lodge and their flyout program is that, you know, if a lake isn't producing, Michael, the pilot's here, we can hop, skip, and jump and find the fish. And this being an exploratory fall mission, I mean, it just doesn't get much better than this.
No, it doesn't. We got the whole lake to ourselves, which we often do. But these lakes haven't been touched in a couple of years, so we're going to go and see if we can touch these lakes.
Let's go poke a giant.
Let's go get one. Yeah.
Fish actually. Bigger than any of the ones we had the other day. More colors too, hey? Mike, it's a very different day today, no wind. How's that going to affect the fishing?
Well, I think what's going to happen is we're not going to have a collection of fish on the windy shore side of the reef like we did yesterday, but instead they're going to be spread out more so along the reef. Bonus to it though is with the sunny periods coming through and the water being a little bit more flat calm, we'll be able to maybe hopefully sight fish some of these fish. We've already seen some this morning in a few little clusters, so we're going to go and see if we can find something a little bit bigger. Hopefully we'll get to see it eat.
After a morning of fun, Mike suggested we head out on another lake to continue our search for more monster fish.
So we're going to try something a little bit different. We moved on to a different lake and we're going to try, we have a river outflow here, and where that river comes down into the form of a triangle or a delta, we're going to start fishing for that. Hopefully we've got some pike congregated in here. Also a big chance for a big trout as well. So we're going to fish that for the next little while.
Oh, good fish. That's a big one. This is a giant fish. Mike,
Yes, sir.
this is a northern pike, right?
You hooked it, I didn't.
Oh my gosh. Oh, are you kidding me?
Okay, well,
It's pulling the boat.
that's good. We're in the rocks.
It's a lake trout. It's a big lake trout. It's not a northern at all.
A big lake trout?
It's a big laker.
Well, there was always a chance to get a big laker in the front. So
It's a big laker.
it's a big laker?
Yeah.
All right. We'll take your head out of the water if you can. Just, yeah, slow.
Sweet. That's why you've got those big nets.
That's right.
Clearly. That's awesome. Wow, what a fish. Nice fish.
That's how she rolls.
Big laker.
That's about 37 inches.
37. Excellent fish. Morning.
Morning.
Lovely.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It is, but what I'm
Yeah.
excited about is that this is lake trout weather. This is the
absolutely-
perfect day, right?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. This is the weather where we're going to find some trout on some reefs. It's also typical weather of September. So if somebody's thinking about coming up here in September, they should be ready and bring
Right.
gear for this.
Right, so we've got all the gear. We're gonna hit some reefs. We're gonna try for some northerns, try for some lake trout, and today's the perfect trout day.
Let's go get some trout.
All right, man. So off the edge of this reef is 25 feet down to 50, and we're casting up into, 2.5, 3 feet looking for these lake trout that are staging to spawn. We're here on Scott Lake for the first time since getting here, and the guides have been out pre-fishing and say that the fishing's been phenomenal. So today should be a pretty epic day. There's a fish right there, perfect. Nice, right on the drop. Now we were fortunate enough to have a camera on the bottom of the lake shooting the fish habits, and we actually got to see some of the bait fish that these lakers are hunting down and eating. So I switched my fly to reflect that. Nice fish, nice laker. And not 2 minutes in, fish on. There we go. Okay, let's take a look at this fly. It's a barbell-eyed, black on purple with silver tinsel, a little bit of purple flash. Looks like this. is the fly to match the hatch. When fishing in these really windy conditions, I'm finding that I'm missing a lot of fish. I'm missing the strip set when they eat, and I figured out why. The reason is because my rod tip is too high in the air, and the wind is grabbing the line and creating slack such that I am not able to come tight with these fish. So as you can see here, as I'm stripping in, there's tons of slack coming off the tip of my rod. But if I drop my rod tip in the water, that actually tightens the line and gives you a direct contact with these lake trout when they eat, and it's a much easier way to set the hook. So in windy conditions, drop your tip into the water. Hey Mike, how long does this fishery go on for in September? Is it like a 1 week thing? Is it a month-long thing? What's the pre-spawn look like?
So the trout here will be, I think, on the reef 1 to 2 weeks. They'll be going down deep to their deep water areas, and then they'll be coming back up in the spawning area. So they'll be doing that process, I think, for 1 or 2 weeks.
We picked up this fish. Coming off this island, there's a seam created by the wind of rough water and calm water, and we picked this fish right off that seam. So I imagine he's waiting for bait fish to get blown by and then ambushing them as they get blown by from the calmer water, hey?
After only finding a little success at the first location, Mike took us across the lake to continue our search for hungry northern pike.
You need a net for this?
I don't know, I haven't seen it. It's a better fish.
It's a better fish.
That's not a bad fish at all there.
Not bad at all.
Mike hit the nail on the head. It truly was just one epic northern pike after the other.
That was significant.
What's that?
Bit off my bite wire. That's 40 pound, cut right off.
Really? Interesting.
Let's go.
All right.
There's nothing better than a hot meal surrounded by good friends to close off another amazing day of fishing.
Scott Lake Lodge is a beautiful destination for fishing, but more importantly, it's a culture that we've created here. It's a culture of fun, friendship, people coming together for 5 days a year that they look forward to the other 360, and spending time with people that they've gotten to know because they come every year, and exploring 9 million acres of the northern wilderness, catching some fish, making some memories. So we're chasing northern pike, lake trout, and Arctic grayling, and we are lucky enough to have them all in larger than average sizes and larger than normal quantities. Now, everybody's staying in a standalone cabin. It's a pine paneled cabin. Each one is themed after a particular northern animal or the aurora. They're well-appointed private washrooms, and then we do all our dinners and breakfasts up at the main lodge. It's a beautiful building on the esker overlooking the lake. The best time to come here is whenever you can get a spot. We've got a great following with our returning guests, so whenever you can get a spot, there's going to be great fishing, great meals, personalized customer service, and you're going to have a blast. The guide staff is a special group. They're a little unruly at times, but they've been here average of 17 years guiding at Scott Lake, and most of them have been guiding for over 2 decades. So they'll make sure you're catching fish, having fun. They're great communicators and are able to tailor any trip to which you'd like to have. You're sure to have a blast with them. The fall program here is something that we've been trying to add to more and more. It's not always great weather. It's not always the greatest fishing for quantity, but it is a spectacular time of year. Often we see northern lights overhead, and the fishing can be absolutely spectacular for lake trout in very shallow water. You can catch them in 1-2 feet of water, sometimes sight casting to them. Pike are fat, and we have had some great times fishing grayling. So we want to share that with more people, and we're finding more and more people that are willing to make this trip in September to enjoy it. So once the water temperature and the daylight period hit a certain point in September, the lake trout migrate from the deep holes that they're in during the summer months up to these shallow reefs to get ready for their annual spawning event. What happens there is now fly anglers can cast to these fish with intermediate lines and sometimes even floating lines and do battle with these trout, not on heavy trolling gear, but hand-to-hand combat in shallow water. And that is completely incredible to watch and to see the numbers of fish cruising around your fly and trying to take it from each other. If you want to have fun, if you want to have an adventure, you want to catch a lot of fish and meet some incredible people that are doing this because they truly love it, this is the place you want to visit.
With one final morning left here at Scott Lake Lodge, Mike and I decided we'd hit the water in search of one more epic fish. It took some time, but our efforts were rewarded.
What was that? That was huge, whatever it was.
We'll go catch it. You come around and have a look at it or flashed at it?
Yeah, I flashed on it. That is a fish.
Clear your line, clear your line.
I think it's a big pike. Yeah, it's a big pike.
Yeah, it's a good pike.
Good
Jack.
one.
Well, not trophy size, but it's all right. We'll net him anyway. We'll have a look at him. Oh, that's bigger than I thought. Okay.
Nice. Good fish.
Real nice fish. That's a beauty.
That's a good one.
There she
Look how
goes.
thick it is across the back, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's an awesome, awesome fish. What a great way to go exploring here at Scott Lake Lodge. All right, let's get her back in the water. Good work, man.
Next fish.
Well, that about does it for this episode of The New Fly Fisher. Thanks for watching. I want to take this opportunity to thank Scott KLEIN, Jason Hamilton, and of course, Mike DEMYAN for his excellent guiding. Remember, adventure is out there. All you need to do is go and find it. And what better way than to find it with a fly rod in your hand? For more in our series, check us out at www.thenewflyfisher. Thanks for watching. My name's Mark Melnyk, and hopefully we'll see you in the wilds of Northern Saskatchewan.
The New Fly Fisher is supported by Tourism Saskatchewan, Orvis Fly Fishing, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited, WeatherTech Canada,